Hey everybody, this is Tony and I'm here today with a special guest, none other than the one and only Mr. Tony the King. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. I'm glad to be with you today.
Thank you
Um,
for having
and
me. I appreciate it.
no problem at all. No problem at all. How has things been treating you since the pandemic?
Well, it was a rough 2020, but I'm glad to be here. I tell you the truth, glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think most of us feel that way, especially seeing everything that happened. But I want to talk some more about your music, of course, which is why we're here. You're an artist. Do you have a specific genre that you would say you fit in at all?
I guess you call me R&B pop.
Okay. Of course, because I only ask that because I listen to your songs and everything, and I'm what I love about it is fun, and most of it has an upbeat tempo, which is something good. Everything doesn't have to be the blues. Don't get me wrong, that's good too, but
I love it. I love it all. I love all kinds of music now.
yeah, yeah. But I love that. So that's why I asked that question though, because you just really make, all kinds of music really. So I was just curious if you felt like you fit in a specific genre for yourself. But I know you got a new single coming out too. You ought to know.
Yes. You
No,
ought to be with me.
you ought to be with me. I'm
Um,
sorry.
yeah,
Tell me
that's
about
okay.
that.
It's new, so I don't expect you to know
Yeah, yeah.
it.
I did hear it though. Don't get me wrong. I did hear it. I did love it.
Right.
Yeah, I loved it. So tell me about the inspiration for all your songs. Where do you pull from to write music, period?
Well, it's something I always wanted to do. Growing up, I was in the projects. I lived in the projects, Bronx River houses, and a friend of mine who was he was a kind of an inspiration to me. Melvin Bowen, bless his heart,
Hmm.
rest in peace. He was my mentor in my young age, you could say, because we used to
Okay.
always talk music. He exposed me to a lot of music, and it kind of helped me along the way. I didn't know that I really paid attention to a lot of the little details he was telling me, but it
Yeah.
paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I know you guys just did a video for the new song too. Um have you had a release date for that yet?
That date will be, I think, August 8th. I'm not sure. I don't hold it. I think it's August 8th.
Okay, okay. I love I watched a video for Live to Pay the Bills. I liked it that. Where does the concept for those kind of things come from? Do you just come up with that stuff or do you have somebody else help you?
Well, I can relate to it because, growing up, you had those credit cards and you just spent until you was trying to pay off the interest, what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So I can relate to it, and I know many people can. And, it was a concept that came, as a matter of fact, when I first had this song in my head, it was more like a rock type of song,
Uh-huh.
and when I when I finally really recorded it, it turned into what it was, and
Yeah.
it just took off from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the video just explored it as a comedy,
Right,
So
right.
that's how it came about.
I loved it though. I loved it because you know what? It's honestly something that I probably wouldn't have thought about, to do. But like you said, you brought comedy into it and then it still went along with the song. So I was like, wow, this worked.
Yeah, and yeah, it was a song that I was proud of, because I could, it's something that people can relate to, and
Right.
it's an experience that we all share,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
So
Of course. Is there a specific process that you take when you write your music at all? Or do you just, free form it when you get something?
well, here's I'll put it to you this way: if I think too hard on a song, sometimes it's a struggle, Sometimes, but what I like is if I hear a melody and I sing it to my head and it stays with me, then I think it's something to it.
Yeah.
It might come as a bass line, it might come as chord structure, drum beat. but mostly it's a melody that I approach it from, you know,
Right.
and I
Okay.
just try to apply a title, a hook that's catchy,
Right.
and I run with that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, of
Yeah.
course, your story is not like a lot of stories because you started your career much later in your life, obviously. And
True.
not that later though. um, but you know, most people would probably give up their dream at this point. But what made you decide to say, "I'm going to start it"?
Well, you know, it was a passion, and you know, I thought about it and said, why not? You know,
Hmm.
it's something that I wanted to do. I wouldn't want to say I wish I had. You
Yeah.
know, you know, I just went with it. You know, and let the chips fall where they may. You know,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
appreciate that though because like I said, a lot of people wouldn't have done it. And you know, seeing people like yourself is an inspiration in doing music, you know. And I even saw Miss Robbie Montgomery, uh, uh, who has the show Sweetie Pies on OWN. She was a backup singer for Ike and Tina Turner. But she recently started putting out music again at 80 years old. You know, to see these kinds of things is just like it's really amazing and shows you that nothing, you know, is impossible as long as you believe in yourself, you know?
that's it in a nutshell. That's my slogan.
Yeah, yeah. I love that.
Creativity has no age. You know,
Absolutely, absolutely.
learn from young. You can learn from the old.
That's right. That's right. I love when people, you know, feel like they're still learning
Mhm.
and are teachable in life still, no matter what age you are, because we always can learn something at any point.
That's right. Definitely.
So and I think that's a valuable lesson Melba Moore was talking about with me, and something that I keep with me too, because you just always have to be open. You know,
Mhm.
nobody can teach you something if you're closed minded.
That's definitely true. Definitely
Yeah,
true. That's the way I approach everything. A child can teach you something and inspire you in a way you don't know. It just
yeah,
comes. It happens, you know.
yeah.
And you know, as well as a wise man or wise woman can tell you something. You know, like you try to tell your children, don't fall into these pits, but they got to learn for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Sometimes some things are better off when you learn it by yourself too, though,
uh,
because sometimes you have to hit your head and say, "Oh, okay, that didn't work. Let me not go that way again."
that's
You
true.
know, somebody could tell you something probably like 10 times, and you can say, "You know what? I know what they told me. I know it's probably not this, but I'm gonna try it anyways." And
Right.
it
And
turns out
that's when you
exactly.
learn when you said, heck, I wish I listened to that. You know?
Right. Then that's when we go back for the help and say, "You think you can help me out with this? I know what you said, but but it's good though. It's good though. It's all life lessons, which is a good thing. The only thing is, hopefully, you take that lesson and make it better, you know, for the next time.
Right.
But I wanted to talk more about that as well, as far as you starting your career. Was there any initial reservations that you had at the time that made you want to say, or that made you have a thought to say, you know, maybe I shouldn't do it?
Uh, yeah, I might have I felt, do I qualify to be in this business? Or,
Hmm.
and, because, when you see someone very talented, you say, or they were born with a gift.
Yeah,
But then you learn, you say, hey, you work hard at something, you can be whatever you want to be. Sometimes it ain't just being born with it. You got to work at it to get it.
that's
And
right.
that came with me. It came, confidence came with, as I learned and taught myself certain things, it helped me in the long run,
Yeah, yeah.
because I started out as being a songwriter. I didn't expect to be an artist, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where I felt my strengths were, And my story started out with, I played with a band. It happened by accident. Someone recommended a guitar player to a band, and they recommended me. And I wasn't really all that good, but I said, this is an opportunity to get my songs out. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it worked out well for me. That band was a band called Just Us back in the day, and thank God I had a leader in the band, Vera Anthony, who had the patience to stick with me, because I wasn't that good, to tell you the truth. But he saw my determination, you know, and he hung in there with me, and I have him to thank to where my path led me right now.
Yeah, yeah. So did you, like growing up, did your parents play any instruments or songwriting or anything like that?
Well, my father, he had all kinds of instruments, and he would give me one at a time to try to inspire me. And he used to try to teach me through his friends, and they would try to teach me the instruments, but I just didn't take to it, because I guess it was the music that they were trying to teach me on, like the old gospel. Every song sounded the same. So when
Yeah.
he teach me something, I just couldn't absorb it, because that sounds just like the other song you taught me, you know, and I just couldn't absorb it. But eventually it did pay off, because he gave me a guitar, he gave me a sax, he tried to teach me piano. And finally I took the guitar and I tried to teach, well, I tried to take lessons, but I wasn't finding that the teachers were giving me what I wanted. I wanted to learn things, to use my tool to write the songs that I wanted to write.
Right.
But it wasn't happening that way. So what I did was I went to Juilliard and took a couple of courses for,
Okay.
you know, music theory. That helped me immensely, so I could relate to musicians, because I tried to, you know, tell a musician, this is what I want, and I'm trying to tell them orally, and you know, you're trying to guess what I'm trying to say. It was frustrating, you know. So I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
I have to learn an instrument or something. I have to do something, and that's how I got to, you know, really become a musician, you know, with the guitar. And
Mm.
so that you know, helped me along, and that developed my skills, gave me confidence, and I didn't think I'd be an artist, but it led me to this. Yeah.
Right, right. But you know, that's crazy. It's funny how life, you know, works itself out sometimes too, because you know, we don't always have everything planned out, and we always think things are going one way and it ends another one. And it end up working out, and you're like, wow. But you know, that's just how life works, and that's how God works too,
That's true.
especially when you start operating in what's, you know, your purpose.
Mhm.
I feel like, because those kind of things get brought to you, you know, when we're
Mhm.
not living in our purpose, I feel like it get pushes toward you at some point, especially when you're in the wrong thing. So I just feel like those kind of things are our purpose. Those things that we feel like, okay, maybe I should, and it's meanwhile, you know, you should do it,
Mhm.
but you just feel like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do this for right now, and then I'll come back to that later, you know. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Growing up though, did you, when listening to music, was there ever an album or a song or artist that just made you say, you know what, this is it right here. This is the top of the line. This is what I need to do.
One album, I can't pinpoint an album, but I could think of several. I remember,
Okay, okay, you can give me a few.
I give you a few: Earth, Wind, and Fire. Uh,
Okay.
the lady who became my wife eventually, we used to sit in the basement. I had, my sister had a reel,
Uh-huh.
and like Keep Your Head to the Sky. You remember
Uh-huh.
that song by Earth, Wind, and Fire? We
Yep.
were singing that, and you know, recording that, and you know, things like that. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? That was an inspiration to me
Absolutely.
as an artist.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I grew up with the Motown era, you know, and that's why I can't pinpoint. I love Stevie, I love Marvin, I love Smokey, I love the Temptations. So I can go on and on. But I would say Motown was the biggest inspiration, because I loved the music and I loved what Motown did for America, actually, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It was very really something special.
Yes.
And I think people just started, well, I won't say they just started to realize that, but I think over the years more and more people realize that, because it's not often that you see something like that today, if at all,
Mhm.
especially something being black owned and black run and having all these hits and all these artists is like unheard of now. So
Yeah.
that time period was really something special. You know, especially having the Supremes, the Four Tops, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, and
Yeah, there were so many
I mean
talented people.
everybody,
Hmm.
everybody was on there. So I mean, even when you go back and think about it, it's really, it really was a machine. You know,
Yes. I used
it really
to
was.
go to the Apollo. I mean, this was probably before your time,
Yeah.
but we used to go to the Apollo and see two movies and a show, and it would be half of Motown there, and we stay to see the show, come back next day and see the show again. They used to be there for the whole week.
Wow.
Oh man, what great times! But that's how much we loved it, and
Yeah,
it was it was the thing for us to do back then.
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Only to be a fly on the wall,
yeah. Those are good times.
I could only imagine. I did an interview with Mary Wilson from the Supremes before she passed back in November, and we were talking about some of that stuff. So I really do, love the Motown era and artists, and have a great appreciation for the music because it is something special, and they still use that stuff now. It's
Yeah,
still being sampled right now from a lot of artists,
mhm,
including the rappers.
that's right.
Diana Ross, especially with Bad Boy and Biggie and everybody being sampled, all that kind of stuff. So it really is something to be appreciated. I'll put it like that.
Definitely.
It's funny that you say Earth, Wind, and Fire too earlier because I do hear like Earth, Wind, and Fire in your music when I listen to it some kind of way. I hear that kind of Earth, Wind, and Fire ish on there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm flattered.
Yeah. I like it though. It's cool. It's always, good to have something be innovative but yet familiar. So,
Yes.
but for you, I'm curious to know, now at this point in your career, is like for most artists, when they start out, they say like, I want to win a Grammy. Like, is that something that's on your mind as a goal
Oh,
or
I
okay, okay.
would love that. That would be the icing on top of the cake. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I think about the times when I was a child, and I mean like music must have hit me at a young age. Uh, I was watching the Ed Sullivan show, and I saw this guy perform, and just I don't know, it just took over me that I had to emulate him. And I was like 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old, and
Yeah.
plunger, and I used the plunger as a microphone. And dad said it was Elvis Presley. I tried to imitate him, and that's probably what started me rolling into music.
Wow. I mean, that's really you know, it's really something special. Uh to be able to even say you could emulate Elvis and watch him on TV or something. Um but Ed Sullivan was definitely the show back then. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had Ed Sullivan, American Bandstand. I don't know if you know
Right.
Jocko.
Yeah.
Remember Jocko? Yeah. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the shows for me, and I knew that music was something I enjoyed.
Yeah, I'm glad that you decided to act on what you felt like was your passion, though, because, like I said, most people wouldn't have done it. And even talking to Kelly, like I was telling her, um, I would hate for somebody to tell me that just because of my age, I can't do something.
Right. Hmm.
Especially something that you love, because I don't care what it is, if it's selling clothes or music or whatever it might be,
That's right.
if you have a passion for that, you want somebody to, say, hey, I like what you're doing.
Hmm.
No matter what, we all like applause,
Yeah.
regardless of if we get it or not, we still like that. But
Right.
I would hate for somebody to say, no, you're too old to do this, or you're
Oh,
too
I
young
heard
to do this.
I heard it. Believe me, but I didn't let
Yeah,
it stop me. I used that as fire,
yeah,
because I expect to hear that. They say, oh, you're too old to tackle this at this age or whatever. Because I still play basketball. They laugh at me when I tell them that. Guys, I grew up, but that's me. Hey, look, I'm gonna do what I feel I want to do.
yeah, absolutely. So now that the world is opening back up, are you intending on going out to play shows, or have you guys been out already?
Well, we're working on certain things, but yes, we want to get out there again. Uh,
Okay.
it seems like it was just about to take course, and then this thing hit us.
Yeah. I know you have the band as well.
Yes, back in New York, my guys, I love these guys and the girls. I call them my TDK angels. Chemistry is important, and I had it with them, because I
Yeah.
play with other musicians, and it just didn't click. But when you find a group that you know that, yeah, you know, I missed them all. You know, I'm hoping that I can bring them here with me in Florida. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, but
It's nothing
it's
like
gonna
that.
happen. You know, they'll come here. I'll go
Uh-huh.
there. If it could happen that way, I'd be happy too. You know.
Yeah, yeah. So what can people expect from you going forward overall?
Well, I definitely want to bring more music to the table and videos. I love doing videos. I'm having fun. Oh, and Kelly, she's my I can't even describe what this woman means to me.
Yeah,
Producer, manager,
yeah.
uh, overall everything. She's a I can't even describe what she means to me.
Yeah.
uh,
Look, I understand.
my biggest fan.
Uh
It helped me a lot. You know.
I understand. And you know, she has been somebody when I spoke to her, I don't immediately I feel people out because that's just me. But I
Mhm,
could tell she was a genuine person from the first time that I spoke with her. And I
mhm,
was just like, you know, you don't meet people like this every day.
mhm,
And as we were talking, I was just like, wow, okay.
mhm,
So I had already seen your videos on Instagram. Matter of fact, I had seen some of your posts on Instagram before, but you know, it never dawned on me like, you know, who it was or what it was, or you know, because I see a lot of people do that kind of stuff. So I'm just like, when she wrote me, I was just like, okay, I remember him. And then, you know, just to talk to her made it, you know, a little bit better. And I was like, wow, okay. So
But you
I
see
want to
that
listen.
word there? That's her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So when I went to listen to your music and really got a feel for who you were, I was just like, yeah, this makes sense.
Mhm.
Especially with what you were doing, who you were, what you were about, those kinds of things. Because don't get me wrong, but I don't do interviews with everybody because everybody is not aligned with what you do. You know,
Right.
I think that's the best way to explain
Mhm.
it.
I appreciate you having me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I'm always, you know, wanting to be in the corner of somebody who's out to do what they love, and genuinely doing it. You know, you're not out killing somebody, you're not hurting somebody to do it. So I'm all right with that.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, my motto is when I meet good people, I like to bring them in my circle and keep them there and bring them to meet other people, you know, that I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
stir the whole pot that we all can enjoy life together.
absolutely, absolutely. That's the way it should be. It's not always that way, but that's the way it should be. But I just want to make sure that we talk about the single again. So the single is "You Oughta Be With Me" is the new
Right.
single.
Yes.
Have we got a release date yet for the single?
That's going to be released on the 4th of August. And
Okay.
I co-wrote that with Sherman Holder. He was a band member of my first group that I used to be with. This is a song that we started way back then, and they just brought it into the new, and that's where we're at with it now.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to the release. I'm excited. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So with the release, it's going to be on all digital platforms as well, right?
right. Yes, all
Okay.
digital platforms, and um, I can't even remember all the names, but yes, it will be.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And then the video will have a release date for later, right?
It should be about a week after the release.
Okay, sounds good. Well, yeah, I think that was it. And then, is there anything else we can look forward to besides the single?
Well, hopefully we'll be out there performing. I don't know how soon that's going to happen, but we're working on this type of things. It's going to be different. A lot of things um, that that's coming up that the wheels are turning in my head. But, I'm sorry.
Oh.
What was your?
No, no, no. I was just saying, was there anything else we could look forward to? But
Yes. Well, you know, I'm working on a couple of more songs that's going to be coming out following "You Ought to Be With Me."
okay.
Uh, we'll be um, um, performing at I can't remember the uh, the the album that I'm working on is got a few more songs to come before I'm ready to release it. I got a few songs that I'm going to bring up. But we're starting with "You Oughta Be With Me." It's I have another song that's out already, "Be My Number One,"
Right,
which
right.
is doing pretty well. And my first album, well, EP, I should say, Tony the King, has a few songs like "Heaven Knows," one of my favorites.
Yeah,
VIP, I'm sure you saw that video.
yeah.
VIP was a popular one. We had a lot of fun doing that. And I wrote a song called "Every Day Should Be Mother's Day," which was inspired by my mother.
Mm-hmm.
I wish she could have lived to hear it today, but it's one of my songs that I really cherish because it had a lot of meaning to me.
Right, right.
So yeah, so
Yeah. So is the new music going to take the direction as the music you've putting out already, or are you going to
yes,
experiment or?
I'll be doing some dance tunes, but in the future I might tackle anything. So
Okay.
be ready.
Okay, okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. So I know that we all, be waiting for that. And once the new stuff drop, we can definitely come back and do another interview if you
Oh,
want.
definitely,
You
definitely.
look, you always welcome here.
I hope I
Um
come back and say, "Mr. Holley, I got that Grammy that I wanted."
That's right. That's right. I hope so too. But just before you go though, just let everybody know where they can find you on social media
Yes,
and your website.
my website is TDK Tony the King musicnow.com. TDKmusicnow.com. You can find
Okay.
me, find all my social media, all videos, everything right there on that site.
All right.
TDKmusicnow.com.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is none other than Mr. Tony the King himself. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.